again, and welcome to Kabbala Revealed. I'm Tony Kozenek. In this lesson, we'll begin the first of two lessons on free will. We'll look at what it is, where it exists. Free will is an extremely important topic, and when we give classes to new students on the basic concepts of Kabbala in a live situation, what we like to do is to hand out a questionnaire and have them answer a few questions so that they can keep a record of what their perception of things is at the beginning of these lessons, and then they can look at it later and see how their perceptions have changed. And one of the questions that's asked is, where do I have freedom of choice? And almost without exception, hundreds upon hundreds of students, and that's all of them, answer, I have freedom in everything. Because that's basically what this level of awareness is. The belief that we can choose everything. And that is so because on this level, the Creator is completely hidden. In other words, we don't really have any sense of the laws that create and govern our situations. But knowing what freedom is extremely important because we spend a tremendous amount of effort pursuing things and building things, perhaps over an entire lifetime based on what we think is an expression of our essence, something that we've chosen to be and build. Maybe for some people it's spirituality, for other people it's other things. But how can you express what your essence is if you don't really know what your I is? The search for the I, what is my I, is really the search for that point of freedom, the experience of not to be restricted by what is not me, not to be coerced by forces outside of the I, and to be able to direct the path of my life along the lines of what it is that I desire, to have the desired outcome that was intended. In previous lessons, we've already learned that we are affected by both inner and outer forces in the whole structure of creation. And these inner and outer parameters are always working on us. And the inner force, the inner parameter that is working on us is the fact that we work in a very narrow corridor between seeking out pleasure and avoiding pain. And this is the inner forces of my programming. But we really underestimate the effect of our created nature, of our will to receive. It is so powerful in terms of how we respond to things that we act really like a robot in every situation as long as we're functioning according to that program. Because we may think that we are choosing to do certain things, but we can't choose outside of those parameters of going towards pleasure and avoiding pain. And everything that we do is done for an egoistic reason, and it doesn't matter how it looks on the outside. The degree to which our egoism controls the events in our lives is, well, it's evident. Just look at the world, and you'll see the kind of relationships that people have with each other. They look very nice on the outside, but what's really happening is that any kind of giving, anything that appears to be an altruistic act, is really always a calculation for self-satisfaction. So even, giving of great amounts of money or expenditure of personal effort to help the poor or to heal the sick, there is a calculation there that pleasure is going to be gotten by the person as long as they're working within the will to receive. Either it'll be in the form of honor from others, or it will be in the form of a pleasure from thinking that I'm superior to others, even if I don't tell them about it. It's always a calculation sought out to receive pleasure into the will to receive. It governs everything, and as long as we function within that, it is a constant pressure that allows us to easily be guided from one situation to another according to an inner pressure. And the outer pressure is in our environment. And our environment consists of all of the stages in our development prior to where we are, which include everything that went before, and also the situation that we find ourselves in at the moment. So let's just go over what our situation is in terms of where we came from. In our original first state, as we were created in the creation of a creature, the four faces of direct light, in this condition, there was one soul in relation to the Creator, with no boundaries on that connection. This is the collective soul, Adam Harishon, and actually this is the state we still live in, except that we have lost any sensation of our true condition. As this state was lowered through a number of phases by the force of development, which is the development of desire and also the development of the will to receive rather than the will to bestow, it arrived at the independent desire of the creature. Now, this is reflected in our experience this way. This state is experienced rather as a kind of a matrix, a lattice that contains 600,000 independent parts, individual souls, all related to each other. The relationship one to another and the influence between them is enormous.